Film Fanatics. From the silver screen to your earphones with Alan Azulay and Gal Balaban.
Welcome back to Film Fanatics, where we talk about the movies that have us obsessed, excited, and inspired. And I'm Gal.
And I'm Alan. And in this week's episodes, we're going to give superheroes a rest, kinda, because all the news we talk about are about superheroes. But other than that, we're talking about Oscars.
Yeah, Alan, we're never quite going to escape the grasp of the superhero franchises because they're always bringing out news. But that's our little prelude, because for our main event, we're spicing things up and looking at the potential Oscar contenders for the 2023 Oscars that are happening only next March. But it's fun to predict anyway.
And some people are joining us. Tell us a little bit about them.
All right, first of all, you may know him as... by many names, whether it's the Calculator or you'll remind me the other name later, but the Cinema Dispatch is now your name on Instagram, and you run the Critics Circle and currently the trivia champion in the League of Cinephiles, and it's Hunter Friesen. Welcome.
Yes, many names that everyone can remember me by.
Hunter, can I just say I love your room. I love the posters in the back.
Thank you. Half of them are like free ones I just got out of one of our good art house theaters closed during the pandemic, so they were just giving them out. I was like, I'm taking these all like playing cards, so spruced up the room. So I'm Oscar centric now with all these, and you can't even see half of them right now. There's like 4 more on the other side of me.
Nice.
Do you still have the Phantom Thread one?
No, I actually got rid of it because I didn't like it and it didn't survive. After moving a few times, it didn't survive. So I was like, oh well. So, it's a shame.
All right, our second guest is a man who's very beloved in this room. Like Hunter, he has also conquered film festivals lately, and he is one half of the Globo Gym in the League of Cinephiles. Hailing from Australia, we have Jacob Cunningham joining us today.
It's an honor. Best intro I've had in a while. Yeah, it's been a while since I've done any kind of podcast, and I'm a fan of you guys, and I'm really happy to be here.
Oh, thanks. That's awesome to hear. Oh, and since we're talking about backgrounds, I love the collection of Funko Pops in the back there.
Okay, I'm trying to get rid of a lot of them.
That's 10 times the size. I literally have like 8 or 9.
Send it over. I have 2.
I don't have the tasteful minimalism that Hunter's room has, but I'll start describing visuals on an audio medium.
Every time I walk by one of those stores and there's like a new one of a character I like, they're so tempting, but just I know I won't really do much with them. Okay, so let's start by reacting to some news. Marvel dropped the trailer for Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, and it's coming out February 17th. And we got our first look at, not our first look at the quantum realm, but their current journey in the quantum realm. And Jonathan Majors as Kang the Conqueror.
Did you guys watch the trailer? What did you guys think? Let's start with Hunter.
So I did watch the trailer. I've been a sort of fan of the Ant-Man films, basically as just a fun escapism movies. Usually, because I think the second one took place like after Avengers Infinity War or something.
It was right before, but it came out after.
Okay, let's have a little nice comedy here. And then this one doesn't feel like a nice little comedy. This feels like big multiverse. We got to push the narrative further. So that was a big disappointment for me based on that. And this looks like a lot of just CGI backgrounds and stuff. I know that's like, of course, by Marvel movie number 30. Why am I complaining about that? But after more of the inventiveness of Ant-Man and the how he interacts with the real world, this seems like we're just throwing that all out the door just for regular, just visual effects extravaganza that's not as imaginative. So that was a big disappointment there. So I'll still watch it. I still have some hopes. I love Paul Rudd, but I am disappointed based on what I've seen so far.
I actually think it looked...
the trailer about an hour ago, and I thought it looked pretty fun. I do like the Ant-Man movies, like kind of as you say, it's a bit of fun escapism. I know there's all the memes about like the Shockwave and Lava Girl outfits and stuff, but it looks weird and wacky, and I always appreciate it when superhero movies sort of take things in a weirder direction, so I kind of have hopes.
Love that.
As long as the CGI is still possible.
Yeah, I'm a little bit with Hunter on this one, because like I love I guess with like everyone here, I love the first two. It's like it was like a fun comedy, especially the first one. The first one is one of my favorite movies in the MCU.
I actually enjoyed the second one a little bit more.
I really love that first one. It has that Edgar Wright touch. I kind of hope that he would have stayed for the whole thing, but that's a whole other discussion. And yeah, like this kind of looks like more like it kind of doesn't look that much of an Ant-Man film, which is weird because it takes place in the quantum realm, but it kind of looks more like Marvel, like CGI fest, kind of like again. So I do have hope because of the characters and the actors involved. Like there are really good actors in this movie. Like you have Michelle Pfeiffer, Evangeline Lilly. You guys said about Paul Rudd. You have who else? We have Jonathan Majors as Kang. So like there are great actors in this movie, and like maybe I think it will be a good movie, but yeah, I was slightly disappointed about that as well.
I actually think it looks perfectly entertaining. Look, Ant-Man movies are both very fun, but it's not like I expect something crazy from them. This looks like fun. There are definitely some VFX shots where I was like, but I actually think it looks pretty good. Like I didn't really have that many complaints from this. I'm not expecting anything better than the last couple, but I still think it'll be pretty good.
Great.
I had no idea Catherine Newton was in it until I watched the trailer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she replaced because it was a different actress that played her in Avengers Endgame. So that's probably why you didn't know it. And I don't quite get why. Like, I love Catherine Newton.
Because Catherine Newton's a much bigger face.
No, I know, but like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that was kind of a cheap shot to the poor actress.
I don't even really remember.
Maybe, yeah.
Like,
it was Emma Furman.
And like, she actually said online that like she only found out when the news came out that Catherine Newton got the role. So that was kind of sad.
Yeah, no, that is sad, but like Catherine Newton is one of the better parts of the less bearable Detective Pikachu movie. So I think
he should have been the protagonist of that movie.
I still haven't watched that.
Oh, really?
Well, you don't have
I hated that movie.
it's fine.
She was in Big Little Lies, though. She was Reese Witherspoon's daughter, and Freaky. She was really good in Freaky.
She was really good in Freaky.
See, like she's good. We can expect good things.
She's good.
But yeah, poor Emma Furman. That they didn't even tell her. It wasn't even her choice.
Kind of not really sticking with Marvel. James Gunn, he's jumping ship. Him and Peter Safran were named DC studio heads for film, TV, and animation. Did you guys see that? Are you guys excited, concerned? None of the above?
Considering DC has had, I have no idea what's going on in their universe right now. What's canon, what's not, what should I be paying attention? Yeah, this thing. So hearing that they have somebody who made the best DC movie so far.
Yeah.
I am not totally familiar with Peter Safran and what he's done, but at least they have a vision who's at the top, the head who's going to steer it forward, who I can trust. Like, after all those Guardians movies and Suicide Squad, I'm like, all right, I want to see more of what James Gunn's idea of these superheroes are. So it was like positive sign, because after Black Adam and all that other stuff and The Flash coming up, I'm like, I don't care, don't know, don't do it. Now it's a different direction, it feels like.
Yeah, Peter Safran is actually, he's more known for the horror movies he made at Warner Brothers. So, like, he produced all of, like, the Conjuring movies and all that.
I think he also produced the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, I think so, too.
Okay. I guess that helps with the darker tone a lot of DC characters tend to have.
I mean, Marvel, that was kind of their sort of strategy, was hire, like, a horror director. Even James Gunn started out with horror and then went to Marvel movies.
Yeah.
But Gunn's also a guy who really knows how to have fun, so it's a good combo.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like...
Glad he's...
Go ahead.
Sorry.
No, go ahead, please.
I'm glad, like, for the Suicide Squad, Gunn was allowed to take it R-rated, to do a lot of stuff that Marvel can't do. So I always hated DC for just doing exactly what Marvel's doing, where you have the opportunity to do something totally different with the Batman, with the Suicide Squad. So I'm glad they got the guy who's able to do that, and they're pushing more in that different direction. Make more hard R movies, make more... just just different than Marvel. I don't want to have 8 movies all the same every year. At least make them
Legit.
slightly different. They're all the same eventually, but at least make slightly excited for it.
Yeah, I like the idea of having like the darker superhero flicks over at DC because like I don't think Marvel is going there anytime soon. Maybe we've played, but I don't think so.
If that even comes out now.
It's gonna come out in 2035 at this point.
Yeah, there you go.
So by then Marvel will have a dark movie. But yeah, I like also the combination of a producer and a director instead of only one head. I feel like it could really work for them. As again, something different than what Marvel does. You have like Kevin Feige oversees everything. So like to have like a guy that's like more producing like money oriented than another guy that's 100% just creative.
I think you mean their artificial intelligence, KEVIN.
Oh God, don't get it started on that one. We don't talk about that anymore. But yeah, I feel like it could be good for DC. I think we all agree that the direction that James Gunn took with the Suicide Squad and the Peacemaker show was like a good one. And yeah.
In favor of putting creatives in power, it'll generally always result in a better product.
Yeah, exactly. But I think it should be that. I think it's a good balance to have also a producer there, because like I remember, for instance, when Zack Snyder was kind of like the Kevin Feige of the DCU, and like it's hard to be in that role and direct all the movies as well. Like there's like you need to have like someone that's like not all the time like wanting to be also the director and be that hands-on with the movies. Like you need to have like someone that is able to like that their job doesn't consist in also creating that. So like I feel like they hit the...
Gunn does still have the time to direct movies though, because like...
No, he will. They said in the announcement that he will still direct like a
some
couple
project.
of, like 2 or 3 more movies pretty soon and all that. So
and their Green Lantern show that they're moving forward with, they confirmed that the main guy like is Jon Stewart. Like the main lantern of the show is gonna be Jon Stewart, right?
Yeah, and I think that's a good choice. Just representation wise and all that. Like, and also it's just a better, in my opinion, from the comics, he's the better Green Lantern, and he has a really cool. If you watch the Justice League show, he has a really, really cool role in that, like the Justice League animated series from the 2000s. He has a really fun role in that, and he has a really fun. Him and Hawkgirl make a really fun couple, and I really want to see that on screen in a Justice League movie. I know that's like so far away at this point, but like whatever. And then I feel like I need to let the world put that out into the world.
And then not in the canon, they're doing a bit of a mini Reeves verse now because they are doing the Arkham Asylum show, and the showrunner is Antonio Campos, who directed The Devil All the Time and also helped create The Sinner and The Staircase. And they're also moving forward with the Penguin show, which they added Kristen Milioti in just now.
Nice. AKA the mother.
Yeah, she's Carmine Falcone's daughter, who, I don't know, wants vengeance or something. I don't know.
They all want vengeance at this point.
They already did that. wasn't Catwoman his daughter?
Yeah, Catwoman was his daughter. So I guess now there's another daughter.
I don't know. I guess she's his sister. Her sister. I don't know.
I just saw it was Sophia Falcone, so I was like, okay, I don't know who this is. But back to Marvel. One last point about Marvel. There is apparently a show in the works called Vision Quest, which silliest name of all time. And
I like it too. It's the same vibe as WandaVision.
I guess
it's a play on words of the phrase Vision Quest, but also I don't know. It just sounds like a fun title for a throwback sort of series, which is kind of what WandaVision was.
Exactly.
But I don't know. I feel like we don't need that much more like Vision story because he kind of died, and then he was a hologram for a whole show, and so now he's just Vision again. But I don't know. I feel like they've kind of done his story, so I don't really care.
I'm all about giving Paul Bettany more money. So
you know what? Fine. I've been beat. That argument wins, actually.
So anything that gives Paul Bettany more money, I'm down with. But I feel like actually could be an interesting take, like to see like this, because this is an actual completely like emotionless version of Vision, like this White Vision. He's actually, I think, like a computer, right? He doesn't have like the stone that kind of I don't know.
He doesn't have the stone, but he got the memories back.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, what did he die for with Thanos?
But I think it could be interesting, and I think it's gonna connect to the Wonder Man show that they're doing. That probably Yahya Abdul-Mateen II is gonna play Wonder Man.
What do you guys think of that casting, by the way?
I know nothing about Wonder Man, but I'm always, like you said about Bettany, anything that's putting money in Yahya Abdul-Mateen II.
I knew him of all people was gonna get in the MCU sooner or later, and he's
in
like
the DCU, isn't he?
And he was in the not canon DC universe when he was in Watchmen, which he won an Emmy for. So like, man's actually huge, and I think he deserves his time.
Yeah, I agree, and also. Like I said, I think these two shows are really gonna connect because Vision Quest is being helmed by WandaVision's what's her name?
Jack Schaefer. And Wonder Man is technically in the comics. They're in a love triangle. Wonder Man and Vision. So I'm excited to see if they explore that a little bit. In the comics, actually, Vision is a clone of Wonder Man. So, little fact. And then they're getting Destin Daniel Cretton to direct at least 2 episodes of Wonder Man.
Again, anything that gets money into Destin Daniel Cretton's pocket, I'm here for.
Okay, what's our last piece of news for the day?
Something that's not to do with any superhero stuff.
What?
I know those still exist, actually. So Jeff Goldblum is in talks to play the Wizard of Oz in Wicked. What do you guys think about that?
I have never seen Wicked. I am not familiar with it, so that's kind of why I was somewhat excited about this project. Like, oh, it's a good introduction to the material that people seemingly love. And I know it's 2 parts too, some epic musicals. That sounds good. I can't comment if Jeff Goldblum's a great pick or not, but based on the original movie from '39, I feel like Goldblum could do that Wizard of Oz kind of facade and be the charming guy with a lot underneath him that you don't see. And obviously we saw the Thor Ragnarok. Of course, he does it sort of interact.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. He basically
I think he'll be
plays
perfect
that
because he's like all-knowing, but he also doesn't give a shit. So yeah, I don't know why they're splitting it into 2 movies. Like, I know why they want to, but I've never seen Wicked. I don't know, man. Like, whatever.
I know the stage musical is like long. I know it's like 2.5 or 3 hours or something. So if you want to add more visual elements, it's either a 3.5 hour movie or just split that into 2, I guess. So.
And they have to add some new songs so they can get some Oscar nominations.
Exactly. I mean, he'll probably be better than James Franco in Oz the Great and Powerful, but I actually kind of like that movie. I'll be honest.
Still haven't seen it either.
It was Sam Raimi's last movie before Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
Oh. Speaking of Oscar songs, are you guys ready to actually talk about the Oscars? Okay.
My boy, that's why we're here.
Exactly.
Hell yeah.
That's what I thought. So, how about we start with a review of The Woman King? Both of you watched it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Great. So The Woman King was directed by Gina Prince Bythewood. I think that's how you say her last name.
You got it.
It stars Viola Davis, John Boyega, Lashana Lynch. As those are like the main names, I guess, in it. And it came out a month ago. Is that it?
Yeah, about a month ago.
About a month ago.
We go in Australia because we suck.
I mean, I don't know how we got it a month ago. Things never come out in Israel that early, so that was a fun surprise for us. But yeah, it has huge Oscar buzz. It has a 94% on Rotten Tomatoes right now, and overall thoughts. Let's start with Jacob.
Oh, putting me on the spot here.
Putting you on the spot right away.
I saw it within a week of seeing like 30 film festival stuff, so it's a bit of a blur for me, but
Fair enough.
I really, really enjoyed it. And I pretty much, it does what it says on the tin, really. It gives you this solid historical epic about this little known female warrior tribe. And I guess what I like about it is that it also acknowledges their flaws. Like, I know there's a bit of controversy about how they were involved in the slave trade and stuff, but I think the movie addresses this really well and still delivers like a thrilling sort of action movie. And the real highlight of it for me was the acting. And I won't steamroll everything, but you named all the cast and they all bring it. And I think it could even be looking at a couple acting nominations if the movie sticks around Oscar time.
Hunter?
I liked it quite a bit. I definitely, the production qualities of the film are immaculate. I mean, the sets, the costumes, the fight sequences, the score by Terrence Blanchard is amazing. I was a little disappointed with the script, how it had to add a lot of elements in, and there's a lot of things that are kind of left underdeveloped to my point. Not the point about the slave trade or anything, the big controversy everyone talking about, like Jacob said, they actually addressed the movie quite well, I thought. But there's the other things about it that I didn't love. So, but the acting is great as well. I think it's just a really solid historical epic as well. That was just a genre that I love, and I'm like, I was very entertained by it.
Yeah, so I actually saw it with you and a bunch of other people. I think I liked it more than you, I remember. I thought it was great because I remember
everyone else loved it.
Because I remember like someone who we went to said 25 out of 10 or something. Yeah, you know who I'm talking about.
Loved it, which I was very happy for.
It is good.
If I'm the worst review, but I still liked it, that's a great movie.
But I was looking forward to watching it before. But the trailer, I was afraid it was going to be like just like a mainstream action movie and not really have like that stronger edge to it. And the movie like pretty much wiped away all my concerns because I thought it was a really great movie. And Tuso Mbedu and Lashana Lynch both get so physical with their performances. Of course, we can talk all day about Viola Davis. She kills it and everything. And if we're talking a bit about like where this could get in Oscars, I think this straight up has a chance to win Best Original Score because, like you said, Terrence Blanchard's music I thought was so good. And he was nominated twice already for Black Klansman and The Five Bloods, both Spike Lee movies, which were really good.
It's the only nomination The Five Bloods got too. So
yeah,
the Academy liked,
which I disagree with, because that movie deserved more. But
Lindo was robbed.
Indeed, but like, what I mean is, I think the movie like really balances the great production design and filmmaking, plus like just really empowering, entertaining like audience moments. I think this could be like maybe the most mainstream movie to get in, or one of them, because I feel like this could even get a Best Picture nomination. I don't know if it's on your ranking at the moment, Hunter. I saw it today, but for now, I think it's got a shot at even getting nominated for Best Picture.
Spoiler alert is on mine, and I don't think it's leaving it anytime soon. I love this movie so much. Like I really loved it. Like I watched it last week. Like I was a little bit late to the party, but yeah, man. Like I think at this point you guys said everything. Like the acting is out of this world fantastic. The action scenes are really, really well done, which was one of the things that I was slightly worried about. And
the sound design also.
Yeah, the sound design is really good. I think the story is good. Like I think, like Hunter said, there's a couple of things that like you can nitpick on, like some threads in the story, but like overall, I think it's a good story, and they do address the slave trade very well, in my opinion, as well. And yeah, but
I really want that knife on a string weapon that they use in the film.
Oh, it's so cool.
Best thing I've ever seen.
No, it's so cool. But Gal knows that I always have to find something wrong with things. It's my role in here. And I always have to have some SJW bullshit that I point out that nobody else is going to care. So I'm going to do that now. I'm as the local Brazilian, I was very weirded out that the two Brazilian guys were played by British actors in the movie. And like it really rubs me the wrong way that a guy named Hero plays a man named Santo Ferreira.
Ray Fiennes' nephew.
So like I know I don't want to get too annoying, but like that just rubbed me the wrong way.
I say my one.
Totally fair. Those characters too are my main point.
They were my least favorite.
Slash the bad guy. Those two I did not.
Yeah.
I also. There was this one whole point with like one of John Boyega's wives being like a little pissed at him.
That was really boring.
And so whenever John Boyega's interacting with like Viola Davis or the main characters, I was like, okay, he's awesome. And whenever there's a storyline with his wife, I was like kind of dozing off.
No, yeah, that's fair. I felt the same way.
And the one thing, there might actually be an answer for it. What does the Woman King actually mean? I do not know that from the movie, because like Viola Davis is like elevated to the Woman King status. They talk about it. What I don't know what that actually means. Is she like the queen? Is she the right hand man of the king? Is she equal to him? Obviously, probably lesser than him, because you can't just have two kings.
What I don't get is why.
Certain what that meant.
What I don't get is why he names her the king.
It was cool. That's why I was like, it sounds cool. What is it though?
I think it's supposed to be kind of like a queen, but like a queen general, maybe. I don't know. That's what it kind of sounded like.
What I don't get is why she's appointed king by someone who's 30 years younger than her and is probably going to die way after her. It's like she can't really succeed him if like they both die of natural causes at old age.
Wow, definitely.
And also she's in battle all the time, so she has a way higher chance of biting the bullet.
Die before him.
Oh yeah. Like that was a bit unclear, but again, that scene is so cool that I give him.
Like that's one of those things. Like I could nitpick about that, but I'm like, it's cool enough in the end. It's not important.
Yeah, that scene is actually really good.
That might, I don't know how it'll work out in the Oscar chances. Is this movie and Black Panther will pretty much be in the same categories with the same aesthetics for their design. Not that you can't nominate two African-centric films for costume design or production design or something like that, but they will be competing and doing these very similar things.
I know what you mean, because I think there was a similar thing with West Side Story wiping In the Heights off the awards map because they were both movies about like New York Latino musical. I'm not saying. Yeah. Like, I think maybe that's like a similar place. And I think The Woman King is big enough right now where it could still get score and like costume categories. Right now I don't have Black Panther 2. Nobody's seen it, but I don't know if it'll also get nominated for picture, maybe just score or visual effects. I think they could both get in for below the line categories, but definitely not both for picture.
I think that there is an actual chance that both of them get picture. I think we like the cap for picture right now is what, 10? They need 10 right now. Okay. So it's 10.
They're
so
part of a big group that are vying for those sort of 8th to 10th spots.
Yeah, exactly. But I think that they both Woman King maybe should make it from the ones I've seen so far at least. I haven't seen Black Panther yet. Like I think only a couple of critics have seen Black Panther at this point.
I haven't read the reviews, so
no, there's no reviews out yet. I think there's only social media reactions,
which are often a bit hard to trust.
Yeah, because like I always take it back to like when Pirates of the Caribbean 5 premiered and all the reviews were like, yeah, so much fun, and it's like 27% on Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah, so that's why I never trust those anymore.
Well, if they talk about how fun the movie is, then it's not good.
Exactly.
That's strong. Like I have nothing else to say. It was fun.
This one's for the fans.
Yes, I remember when Rise of Skywalker came out. The social media reactions were so good. Like I remember, like that week of social media reactions, I was so excited, and then everyone saw the movie and they were like, "Oh."
Because like for the fans, did the fans enjoy Rise of Skywalker? I don't
think they did.
I even like 7 and 8, and I didn't like that.
So also we usually like to give scores for the movies we watch. So how about we do that for the Woman King?
The
Let's
rating scale here.
1 to
Just
10.
out of 10.
Yeah, 1 out of 10. Like Gao's, I don't know. What do you do? That's annoying.
Pizza slices. I would say 8 out of 10 for the Woman King.
Nice, Jacob.
It's a 7.5 for me.
Really?
I'll start to keep the trend going. 7.0 out of 10. We're going down. Are you gonna bring it up?
I'm gonna bring it all the way up. No, just kidding. No, but like it's gonna be the highest one out of all of us. I'll go 8.
I said 8.
You said 8?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I thought you said 7.5.
Bringing it back.
So it's 8 for me. Yeah.
Pretty much all agree.
Yeah. I think maybe I put it 4.5 stars on Letterboxd. I don't remember.
I saw
but-
you put it 4.5.
But after like marinating on it, I think I'll go down to it.
It's like a low 4 for me.
For me, it's a high 4. I think it's like right on the cups of
For
like
me, it's
8,
just a
8.5.
4.
So okay, let's go to our second one. This one came out a while back. Why don't you bring us in, Gal?
This movie came out in March, but it's going to be very fun to predict the Oscar chances of this movie because it's not the type of movie that the Oscars are used to nominating. And that's Everything Everywhere All at Once. And if you're someone who follows movies and you went to the movies a lot this year, there's a big chance you watched this movie.
Yeah.
It's still the most acclaimed movie of the year. It's the most logged or highest rated movie on Letterboxd ever. Correct me if I'm wrong. And
More, but it's still around the top 20-ish mark.
so yeah, and it's directed by the Daniels.
And written by them as well.
Yeah, Dan Kwan and Daniel Scheinert, and stars the amazing Michelle Yeoh, Kiwi Kwan, Jamie Lee Curtis, Stephanie Su, and James Hong. And because of all this buzz, 95%, 96% on Rotten Tomatoes, and all this acclaim, whether it's from the industry itself, audiences, it's the first A24 movie to make over $100 million worldwide, critics as well. It seems like this sort of has the formula of a movie that's as crowd pleasing as it is just straight up beloved that it could get into Best Picture. What do you guys think on that sort of subject?
Well, it's definitely got it's got a lot of high chances in a lot of categories. For original screenplay, it's pretty much getting in. Supporting actor, I mean, pretty much contending for the win there right now as we're talking, because that category is kind of in flux. But there's him and Brendan Gleeson and stuff, and then you got the Michelle Yeoh, of course, is getting in, and A24 is campaigning hard for this.
They are?
Well,
Okay.
they have enough money to give you a trailer right now. It's all for Everything Everywhere All at Once. That's all it's for right now. Everything else is getting thrown by the wayside. I mean, and it makes sense. That's exactly the way they should be doing it. So
Because they haven't had a movie nominated for Best
like-
Picture
kinda
for a
like
while.
women talking, it is the like above the line contender. Where it's like, I don't know how many texts it could get. It deserves a few, but I don't know how it will do. But a lot of above the line winning contention really will solidify that. I would not go as far to say it'll win Best Picture. It's even that much in the race for it, but it's firmly in the nomination category.
I will go as far to say that it can win Best Picture.
All right.
Ooh.
I'm a lot higher on Everything Everywhere in my predictions than a lot of people, and that's definitely not just because it's my second favorite film of the year and it's like very special to me and I've seen it like 4 times. But I just think the best comparison for this movie are stuff that we've seen in recent years, like Parasite and Coda, where you have this film with great representation. It's a very feel-good film. Maybe Parasite isn't so feel-good, but it's a very lovable sort of cast. And once you start rolling these guys out on the red carpet, the passion is going to build. It's tricky with this one because it did come out so early, but they're sort of just starting to roll it out to Academy voters now. They've been holding a lot of screenings for them, and supposedly it's been playing really well. So it's not my front runner for Best Picture, but I absolutely think it can win.
Yeah, I agree with you guys that like it's definitely up there, like to at least contend for Best Picture. I think for sure you will get nominated for Best Picture. I think that's like almost a shoo-in at this point. Yeah, like I think the best chance he has is Michelle Yeoh for Best Actress, because what she does in that movie is out of this world good. Like she's always been fantastic, but like I think even for her grade level, she leveled up. So like, yeah, if you told me you can give out one Oscar for this movie, that's what I would give it. But it's very much in the conversation, like Hunter said, for the screenplay, perhaps directing. I'm not 100% on that one. And yeah, but like Michelle Yeoh, I think is the shoe-in for any Oscar talk here.
I think where I stand is I have it high on where it would get in for Best Picture. I have Michelle Yeoh most likely getting in to get nominated. I don't know if she would win, but I think the passion is there, like you said. So we'll have to see. But there are people like Cate Blanchett for Tar, or now Michelle Williams is up there in The Fabelmans, or Till just came out, and I haven't seen it yet, but apparently Danielle Deadwyler is up there to get nominated, maybe win. So, but I think she'll get nominated.
Really solid top three, those three.
Oh, absolutely.
It's gonna be a fun race.
Then when it comes to directing, last year, after Denis Villeneuve got snubbed for Dune, I don't know what to say for directors and their mode.
That was a travesty.
I think when it comes to like Critics' Choice, Golden Globes, there might be some passion there in director, but we can't tell, honestly. Like sometimes when it comes to like sci-fi fantasy, you know, like Ridley Scott got snubbed for The Martian, or Denis for Dune, so you can never tell sometimes. Ke Huy Quan, I have him like being one of the bigger frontrunners for supporting actor. And there's also sort of like Brendan Fraser, this comeback narrative for him, and he's fantastic. And there's a lot of versatility because he has like regular Waymond and the other universe Waymond, and then the rich Waymond. So I think it's there. But right now I do predict that Brendan Gleeson is still the frontrunner to win, because I've seen the Banshees of Inisherin, and I think there's real passion there. And I think there's like sound editing, that's at least for sure a nomination, but I think it could straight up win Best Original Screenplay. There's those lines towards the end of Ke Huy Quan has this monologue that everyone is now quoting on social media and whatever. He says like, I would love just doing laundry and taxes with you in another life. And I think just
that's an amazing line.
Just that, like the way that whole monologue about him being like a fighter because he's optimistic and all, just the way it's written, I think could straight up win this movie the writing award.
It's also the kind of movie that they like to award in that category, and I can easily say something like The Fabelmans wins Best Picture. They might say, okay, we'll use original screenplay to honor Everything Everywhere, but there are a few strong contenders in that one. And yeah, Ke Huy Quan and Michelle Yeoh, they just have such strong narratives in the acting category, like you said, with the comeback. And Michelle Yeoh, I mean, what she's done performance-wise kind of mirrors her character in the film, in that she's unlocked her potential. She said that it's the film that she's been waiting for her whole career because it shows everything that she's always been capable of. And I don't think we've ever really had an Asian American woman nominated in lead actress. So I think that'd be silly not to give it to her. And I'd still have her personally above Blanchett in my predictions, but it's close. Blanchett is incredible in Tar.
Yeah, I need to watch that. I know there were people who were like having her as Michelle Yeoh as a dark horse back when Crazy Rich Asians came out. So
she's so good in that movie, though.
She is, but here she's the best she's ever been.
And I love the
Ke Huy Quan out of retirement.
Wow, yeah, I didn't think about that.
The good thing for Everything Everywhere All at Once right now is it is not the favorites right now. It is definitely The Fabelmans is the front runner, which never was really the good thing to be the front runner of this. For this whole
I know.
Yeah, never works out.
It feels like a little bit the La Land Moonlight situation, where La Land was the front runner for like 5 months.
That still hurts me.
Point, everyone's just like, why not Moonlight? Why shouldn't it win? And that's kind of the Everything Everywhere Once, where it's just like, well, why shouldn't it win? Like, and then the buzz just keeps building and building and building. So there's definitely running that like, just stay under the radar. Don't blow up too early to take over the Fabelman spot, which
I guess
the Fabelmans actually come out, you know.
Yeah, and I
You
think
guys have seen it though, right?
I've seen it. Hunter
I haven't
saw
seen
it a
it
day
yet.
before me.
because it hasn't come out here.
Comes out in Thanksgiving.
It's going to tear from her right, Alan?
Oh, I don't talk about that here. That for me, that whole week did not exist. That week has been deleted from my mind. So yeah, but like I'm super excited for that movie. I know I'm gonna love it. It's like my kind of movie, like for sure. And
trepidatious because it does look kind of Oscar baity, and I didn't really.
I like Oscar baity shit.
Sorry guys, but I can't see myself not liking it.
But I think from what Hunter and I have also heard, people were genuinely moved by it. So I think like even if some people are saying, "Oh, it's like a mainstream." Like, it's a movie that the Oscar voters like. I think there's genuinely heart in that movie. And we'll talk more about general and... Sorry, I can't talk today. We'll talk more about general predictions.
For me, because he likes the same pretentious shit I do.
Exactly. And I was a little worried because, like, I was like, oh, Spielberg going ultra Spielberg in this movie. I'm like, maybe. And then I was like, no, it really does work. It worked.
Didn't you say it was top 5 Spielberg for you?
Or not... the full like schmaltz that I'm kind of a little detracted from sometimes. So it works out.
Well, yeah, Hunter and I have like, because you said your favorite Spielberg is Munich, right? And that's nowhere near one of my favorites, to be honest.
It's right there.
Oh wow!
Right, I know this is audio, but at least I gotta show you.
No, we have video as well.
I got to it. I got to Munich so late in my Spielberg filmography watch, I guess. Which is weird because I'm Israeli and it's about like
Letterbox. It's like in this Letterbox. It's like number 27 in like most popular movies. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. But I was like, but if you just see it, you'll know. But and I don't expect anyone to actually say it's their favorite as well. I'm not delusional that way. I just happen to really love it.
Yeah.
No, but last year even with West Side Story, I thought it was like such a fantastically like well-made film.
That was my favorite movie of last year.
Like it was in my top. It was in my top 10. I don't remember which position, but like, I just loved how well crafted it was, and like, people are saying that the Fableman even takes that and like ups that game. So like, I'm really excited about that.
You should notice that Jacob went quiet as soon as you brought up West Side Story.
Let's not.
He's not a fan.
My weird take.
I mean, I prefer In the Heights, so there you go.
Hey, there we go.
Oh. In the Heights is one of my favorite musicals of all time.
I was really bummed that In the Heights got knocked out of the Oscar.
I was so sad about that. Like, I thought it deserved it so much.
Yeah. Well, it's the problem that both In the Heights and West Side Story have was great movie people liked, but the first thing that happens to it was box office bomb. So you've already got that little bit of stench of just failure on them that kind of stops you. So the good thing for the Fablemans so far is it does have that TIFF People's Choice Award. So the big thing about it right now is big crowd pleaser, big awards movie. Now, I don't know the box office prospects for this movie just because these specialty, mid-budget, not action films are having a little bit of a problem. So you hope the Fablemans makes money. That's why the big thing why I thought it was going to TIFF, so it would avoid being a box office bomb right away. It at least has something. So that'll be the big deciding factor for it.
But it is a film about film, and they love those.
Spielberg's name can't be a box office draw anymore, then there's no hope for it.
Yeah, that I couldn't believe that when a West Side Story movie directed by Spielberg like lost money. I was like, okay, what can we trust anymore? But yeah, when The Fablemans comes out, Alan and I are going to be reviewing it at the end of next month.
No, for sure. Like, it's one of the films that I'm most excited to watch.
I've already got my tickets to see it.
Again, nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay, see it in like a week from today. I see it.
Nice. Fairly jealous. Okay, let's just go back a little bit to Everything Everywhere. And we kind of like drifted off of it. We can go back to the Oscar talks in the end of the show for sure. But overall, I just want everyone's feelings on the movie, and like maybe we can already give the scores. I guess I'll start because I know my score is gonna be the lowest. So, I'm already excited to see you guys destroy me with your comments. But listen, I really liked this movie, and I almost loved it. It was so close for me to loving that movie. I think it got a little bit too weird for me at times. I don't know how to explain it. It's more of like when you're talking about a well-made movie, I'm like going, yeah, sure, 10 out of 10. That movie is like incredibly well made. But when we're talking about like personal favorites, I guess it drops down a little bit for me. Just, and again, I don't know why that is. Maybe it's because of all the hype, and I was expecting maybe something else. I don't know, but like, I would give it like a 7.5 out of 10. Maybe a 7.75.
I would bring up the 7.9. How about that?
Quarters.
All the way to 9.
All right.
Sorry, I know it's a contentious one.
There. All right, I'll go next because I'd probably be the second lowest because I'm going 8.5. Oh no, it's a terrible movie. No, I really enjoyed it when I saw it. It was one of those. I just heard the South by Southwest reaction from the premiere that was like really good and really like exciting and fun. And I was like, okay, sounds good. I'll see it. It's March. There's usually not a lot of great movies. And I saw it. I was like, wow, this is like so much ingenuity on such a small budget, so much creativity to it. It's a lot. It's like 8 to 10 times throughout this movie. It's like, wow, how did they do that? That was really interesting. So it's definitely one of those just really feel excited and like about the movie and talking about it and watching it again because there's so much of it. So I was very happy for that. And it introduced a lot of people to A24. It's one of the more, obviously that's why I made $100 million. It's a weird movie, but it's very accessible too. It's not like weird turn off, like don't bring your parents to this because they'll complain about it or something. Like, no, you can bring friends, family to this movie and everyone will have a great time watching it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't want it to sound like I honestly really enjoyed it. I don't know what it is.
You hated it? Yeah.
Jacob, what's your rating for Everything Everywhere? Because I think it's the same. I think it's the same as me.
Oh, are we both the same, are we? Woo. Who's going next?
You. Go. I want to hear it first.
Yeah, Alan, I won't attack your comments because...
To be fair, I've seen it once. Maybe it will change when I see it again.
I've also seen it once.
Yeah, you have to watch it multiple times.
That's
what are you
true.
doing?
All right, let's pause right now.
Okay.
As Raymond White said, why can't we just be kind? So you're entitled to your wrong opinion. But I just think... I just think it's such a special film. And it's a film that's really made for me. I was already a big fan of the Daniels. Their last film, Swiss Army Man, I think is a perfect film. And I kind of stood alone there. So I'm really happy to see people getting around this one. I don't tend to love maximalism, but I just think this one is so full of heart. It has stuff to say about the world we live in today. It has stuff to say about representation and universal stuff about depression and feeling useless and stuff. And I think it's a film many people relate to. I've certainly related to it. I think it's a film that will be some young people's gateway into film in the way that me as a kid watching like Edgar Wright movies got me into film. I think some people will watch this and think, oh wow, movies can be like this. And yeah, I just adore it, and it's a 10 out of 10 for me. It's my second favorite film of the year.
I'm going the same. This is a rare Film Fanatics moment. I watched this movie in a theater, and at one point, I felt like I was forgetting that I was like, I felt like I was part of the experience because there's so much going on, and you're so invested into it. You mentioned Swiss Army Man. For me, that's like a 7.5 out of 10 movie. What Alan gave this movie, still like it, but this for me is a 10. Again, it's like it throws so much at you, and for me, everything about it worked. And if we're talking about Wayman quotes, so something that he says, where he says, "When I choose to see the good in things, I'm not naive. It's strategic and necessary, and this is how I'm a fighter. This is how I fight." And I think that quote honestly really resonated with me, and I started to even adopt that into my mindset towards certain things. And I think I think the word modern classic is thrown around a lot, but I think this could be a modern classic in the way something like, I don't want to compare like fan bases here, but in the way a big movie like The Avengers is very loved, or something like Back to the Future, like when we talk about like tentpole beloved, like big sci-fi movies, Everything Everywhere All at Once could end up being there for the next generation.
I think it could be a film that defines this decade.
Ooh, damn. You're talking about 2020s, like to come.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and you know what's weird? I agree with all of that. So like maybe on a second watch, I feel like I also should watch this movie on a big screen. Watching it at home, I feel like took a lot out of it for me.
I saw you put it at 4.5 on Letterboxd. What happened?
Because I know, because like when I watched it, I was mostly thinking about like the quality of the movie and nothing else. Like I wasn't putting my my opinion really on it when I gave that score, and I still agree with that. I think it is like a 9 out of 10 movie when it comes to a movie. It's just when we're talking about like personal preferences or something, it lost me a little bit in some of the moments. Like you said, the moments where they dig into like depression and familiar relationships and all that, those moments like are fantastic. Like those were the moments that really glued me. But then like a giant donut shows up, and I was like, wait, what? Like it kind of like it kind of like I know that was part of the whole thing, but like it kind of took me out of it a little bit. I feel like that's
Not a fan of dildo fights?
things like that. I thought like took me out of the experience when I was like really getting invested in some of these conversations. I don't know, but again, maybe if I watch it again, I'll have a different opinion.
All right, so Alan, do you want to introduce the next movie that we would like to discuss?
Now that basically all of our fan base hates me.
It's a positive score, come on.
So our next one is one that actually came out this week. Look at us talking about a movie that actually came out. It's The Good Nurse. It came out on Netflix this week. It was directed by Tobias Lindholm, and it stars Eddie Redmayne and Jessica Chastain. What'd you think about it, Gal?
Okay, I'll start. I think I'm the least positive out of all of this, but I'm still positive about this movie. And I think I'm biased, and I think Hunter knows this because I made it clear. We were at TIFF when we saw the first screening ever of this movie, and it was the fourth movie I had seen that day, and it was the first time I'd ever done that. Jacob and Hunter, you guys are both used to that, but like, so I was just tired. And the movie played until midnight because it started at like 10 and it was a 2-hour movie. So I think I was a little bit biased, and I definitely dozed off in the second half. But I still think...
It is not a fast-paced film as well.
It's not. So I'll say this. The direction is really good, especially in the hospital scenes. You definitely feel like there's sort of like that tense, like dark, sort of disgusting feeling that you would feel in such a dark hospital like that. And I think the direction conveyed that really well. I think Jessica Chastain was an excellent protagonist. And I'd say the first half was really engaging. Eddie Redmayne did mostly a really good job. I think he overacted a little bit at the end, but I think he mostly was great. I think where it lost me is I thought the procedural stuff with, I might be getting his name wrong, but Namadi Asamuga and Noah Emmerich's characters, I thought that's where I dozed off the most. And yeah. I think maybe the parts about like the corruption in the hospital could have resonated more because I've seen like movies that have a little better themes. But I think as a true story, the idea itself is really interesting as to what happened. But I just think the pacing could have been stronger in that second half.
Yeah, I feel like you're completely right. Like the parts where like the more procedural parts when you had the police officers and the hospital. They could have been done a little bit better. Sometimes I did feel like I was watching like a high budget like cop drama or something when those scenes were on display. And like movies, I guess I have Spotlight in my head because I just rewatched it recently. It's one of my favorite movies, and the way that movie approaches like the investigation part of it all, I feel like it's really engaging compared to what this movie does. So like I completely understand what you mean by that, but the hospital scenes do like steal the show, like especially with Jessica Chastain, and the parts when she like the really tense parts when she knows who they like. I don't want to spoil anything, but like who the bad guy is, and she's in a room with him, like, and you see like her. She really acts like her heart out in those scenes where you can see like how scared she is. But like she's really trying to like convince this guy that like she's not feeling any different towards him maybe, and yeah, like you said, it was a good movie in that sense, and I don't know how I see it so much in the Oscar chances. Maybe because Netflix has kind of flopped this year with their Oscar fare. I feel like they were really banking on Blonde, and that really blew up, and now they're kind of banking on this. So I don't know like where they stand.
Wait, Hunter, you like Blonde or was that someone else?
What was that?
Was it you who liked Blonde, or was it someone else from our critic
No,
circle?
I really like Blonde.
Oh, okay.
I still haven't watched it.
Hey, well, we don't have to talk about it though. Don't
I
worry.
should have liked Blonde, but I did not. I've had enough of the Blonde.
And I have.
I was for sure it was gonna be for me.
I'm in the same train, Jacob. Like everything that people were discussing, I'm like, I don't know if that's the movie for me.
I understand and almost completely agree with every bad point everyone has about Blonde. I just happen to like that.
Makes sense.
But it was the the Good Nurse. Actually, speaking of Gall mentioning Tip, it was my very biggest surprise at the festival. I was like, wow, this was I really liked this movie. It was weird because I got out of it, and then I was walking out and talked to one of our other friends. He really loved it. And then we meet up with the other members of the group, and then Tyler's like, I hate this movie, that sucked. And then Tristan's like, it wasn't that good. And Gall's like, I didn't like it either. Now she's like, I hated it too.
I thought it was okay. I didn't dislike it. I think I was just biased because I was desperate to get to bed.
Like the movie the most.
I really liked it. I loved it. I loved the slow pacing of it. The opening shot that's just 4 minutes just on Eddie Redmayne's face.
That is a really good shot. I will agree with you on that.
And I love that the movie, it depends, it doesn't try to get inside the head of Eddie Redmayne's character and try to rationalize why he did it, try to understand why he did it. They're like, no, we don't care about that. We're focused on why he was allowed to do this, why this went on for so long. The system that just threw people under the bus just in terms of just to keep profits coming in at the hospital. And I really enjoyed that different aspect of it. Because we get these Dahmer shows, these other shows about, let's understand the serial killer, but you're kind of fetishizing him a little bit and making a trouble character. This one, Eddie Redmayne's character, nobody likes him. And he's great in the movie. So I really liked it, took a little bit of a different angle to it that I really latched onto. And yes, that scene at the end with Redmayne is horribly not well written or well acted, but everything up to that 95% before that last final scene was really well done. But Oscar chances, I see absolutely none. Maybe a surprise SAG nomination or Critics' Choice somewhere for Redmayne or Chastain.
That's what I'm thinking.
Their fourth or fifth priority now, so they're
I'm thinking, I feel like not Netflix, I feel like the Golden Globes sometimes like this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I think maybe Best Actor in a Motion Picture Drama, and then maybe SAG.
That would be so strange if Eddie Redmayne won Best Actor.
Or no, only nomination.
Well, we get to know, SAG, yeah.
Maybe SAG nomination, no wins.
SAG nomination written all over it. But
Yeah.
I loved him in it.
Mm-hmm.
No, he's great. But I think Jessica Chastain is the better one here. I feel like she's more nuanced, more subdued.
But yeah, I really, really liked the movie too, more than I was expecting to. I mean, I think maybe the awful poster put a lot of people off before it even came out. And I'm still waiting for another one because I hate looking at that poster anytime.
Yeah, me too. It's like their faces together.
Yeah, I was shocked by
Oh yeah, that's horrible. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah.
I even liked the I can't scene. I'm sorry, I'm going to say it. I liked it. Yes, it was over the top, but I liked the way the film built to it, and it was really the only time they let it get that over the top. And I thought it was a fun and interesting and intense moment, but I totally get why it's a meme also.
I can't!
I can't.
I like the gritty aesthetic of the film. I think it sort of was... It definitely has a bit of that sort of Netflix workman-like directing to it, but also, I like the look. I like the gritty look. It was kind of grainy. The hospital, as you said, looks pretty disgusting. And I just found the film riveting. And it was like you... I feel like I'm repeating everyone's points, but it's a true crime sort of thing that doesn't feel sensationalized. It doesn't try to glamorize or even humanize his character too much, but at the same time he does a really good job playing that sort of charming nice guy act to the point where there are some scenes where you're I almost like this guy even though I know he's a monster and it's an act.
Like you don't want it to be true.
Job playing the duality of that.
Yeah, it's some... Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
No. I completely agree with you. I'm just gonna say that at some points I was like, oh, so it's not him because he sold me so much in that good guy act. I was like, oh, wow, maybe it is someone else. I don't know. I know that makes no sense because there's no one else that it could be. But that's something that the movie maybe should have put a red herring or something in that situation. But it's a statement regarding his acting and the writing that at some points you're like, No. It's not him. He's such a good guy. What are you talking about?
Again, I think all your points are pretty right. Like, in hindsight, I'm not that negative about this movie. I just wouldn't nominate it for anything. Chastain, I don't see her getting nominated, especially when, like, not even Molly's Game got her a nomination.
That was a travesty.
Yeah, or a Most Violent Year. And then she just won last year, so I don't know.
Category's really stacked this year.
Yeah, but I will say that she did a really good job, especially Hunter and I saw The Real Woman right after the screening. Amy Lauren. And I think she did a really good job of portraying this woman who, like, needs the job because of her health. Like, her health is failing her, and she needs, like, the health care because of that. And that's a bit of the commentary the movie has. But even then, she's devoting everything to helping and giving to other people, whether it's her kids or the people in the hospital who may or may not fall victim to the killer. And so I thought she conveyed the spirit really well of Amy Lauren. And then one more thing I will say is the score was really good. I don't know how stacked score is right now, but maybe somewhere there. I thought the original score for this movie was really good.
I don't even have the Woman King in my 5. That's how stacked score is.
I definitely have it getting nominated, but we'll get to that right after this last movie.
Okay.
All right.
So let's give some scores to the not so good nurse. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. I really like the movie. I'm joking.
All right, Alan, you can start.
I'm gonna give it a 7.5. I really enjoyed it. I was gonna give it a higher score, but I don't think that's allowed because I just gave everything I've read out once 7.7. So I don't think it's allowed for that movie to be worse than this one. So
I'm saying 7 out of 10.
7.5.
I would say 7 out of 10.
I'm gonna go. You use quarters, so I'm gonna use quarters. I'm going 8.25. How about that?
There you go.
Okay.
See.
It is way better than a true crime Netflix movie has any right to be.
I agree with that.
Between two ratings either, so I'm bringing in the quarters as well. 7.75.
Okay.
There you go.
We all liked it pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're actually not that far apart.
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought this one was gonna be like one of the ones that was like everyone was like 7 and lower than 7 for some reason. But like, I think it was because of what you said, Hunter, that like when you walked out, everyone was like shitting on it.
I think I was a bit too negative on it, but I've explained why I was biased. Still, back then I would have given it a 6. Now I'm at 7.
I mean, you were not the lowest. You were definitely the highest of the low group.
Tyler hated it. Yeah.
They were like, I hated this movie. I didn't like it. I was like, what? Like, how? This is a good movie.
All right. So I hope none of us give this next movie under 7. This is gonna be the last movie we talk about, and then we're gonna go straight into like general Oscar talk. And this movie it also came out on Netflix this week, All Quiet on the Western Front, and it's based on the book written long ago by Maria Remarque, and it's not the first adaptation because there was a version in the 30s that won Best Picture, and this one's currently on Netflix and stars some people, including Daniel Bruhl. And yeah, I'll start by saying I loved this movie. I almost didn't know it was coming out until it was on the TIFF roster. I don't remember, Hunter, I don't think you saw it there, right?
No, I did not. Now I wish I had, but gotta make sacrifices when you're there.
At least you got to see it in the theater.
That is true.
Yeah.
The best way to watch it.
So I saw it on my big TV, and I thought it was honestly amazing. Like it's maybe up there in the conversation when we talk about great war movies, like because there's 1917 and there's Dunkirk, and I think this may be up there just because the war scenes are so brutal, and it's really through the perspective of these young men who lose their innocence just like that, and try to maintain it. But also the cinematography is brilliant, and the performances, the main guy who plays Paul Baumer, I think knocked it out of the park, because you have to throw yourself into so much terror and physicality for that role, and I thought they did an amazing job casting him.
Mm-hmm. Yep, Felix Camera is incredible. He's in my
That's his name.
For lead actor still. I loved him in it.
Yeah, he was really good. Like he has no right being that good, being that young. Like if you
first like big role too. Like he had done nothing. I looked at his IMDb. There was like one like German television show of like 2005 he was in, and then it's this. I'm like, cool. I guess he just came out of nowhere and delivered a standout performance. Just like that, you know. Oh, no big deal.
Yeah.
Also, I want to shout out Albrecht Schuck, who plays Kat in the film. He's really great.
He was terrific.
He was so good.
German film called System Crash that he was great in too. But he's charismatic, and he sort of is positioned as this fun comic relief character. But he like when you learn more about him, he's so lovable and sympathetic, and a sort of a different side. Two different perspectives of these soldiers. He's sort of an older guy who's trying to get back to his family, and then Paul obviously has been brainwashed into thinking they're doing this great thing, and then he just is trying to survive, which is what I love about that movie. And it's something that Dunkirk does that I love too, in that a lot of these characters do have minimal character development, but because of the situation the movie puts them in and how visceral it is, you're just rooting for them so hard just because you can relate to them as young people trying to get home.
Yeah. No, for sure. And Gal, and I guess God knows how much I don't really like war movies. But the fact that I really like this one, I think it's a statement to how good it is. I think this is one of the best war movies I've like ever watched. Honestly, like just for that beautiful cinematography, I think it's honestly one of the most beautiful films I've seen in a while. Like the amazing like shots from like the battlefield, and like even from Germany and France, like in the winter, and like how it just looked like a painting, honestly, at some points, and I really appreciate that. And the sound design for this movie is like hauntingly good as well. Like you know, like you usually we're so used to watching like action movies and stuff at this point, like that it's remarkable when a movie that comes out today actually makes you feel something when somebody like shoots a gun, or when a grenade explodes or something like that. And I feel like this movie is like a shoe-in for sound design because of that. And yeah, like you guys said already, the acting is phenomenal. Daniel Bruhl was in this movie, and I had no idea until like he randomly showed up, and that was such a fun moment for me. I was like, oh, there he is, and yeah, he's great here, as he is in basically everything he does. But like, I think like you guys said, I'm really bad with names usually, and like especially when it's a German film, but like. The main character and the guy that played Kai, they were like standouts for me as well.
I love how well the Daniel Bruhl scenes were integrated into the film, because when I didn't know he was going to be in the film either, and when he first shows up, I was like, I don't know, is this going to be a bit jarring, these sort of scenes taking away from the immersion? But by the end, there's a lot of great juxtaposition. Like there are a lot of great full circle moments in the film, like the dog tags and the bit with the coat at the start. And there's also this juxtaposition of food, and it's kind of this really great comparison of how little these people in power are giving up while they're sending these young men to die. And by the end, I really, really love those scenes, and they didn't overstay their welcome either. And yeah, Bruhl was a nice addition. And of course, it's nice to get a bit of star power in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely it easily, I had to do it to Mr. Spielberg, my boy. He was dethroned by this movie. I was like, wow, I'm sorry, Steven, but they knocked it out of the park with this one. So it's definitely my number one. And I mean, unless Babylon is the masterpiece people say it is, and I'm really hoping it is, this will be my favorite film of the year.
Wow.
Nice.
I was very, very, very impressed by it. There was like, I was like, oh, I love that scene. That was a great one. Oh, that was a great one. And by like the time I was done, I was like, I'm like number 18. That was the great scene. 19. I was like, wow. I was like, okay. At that point, it must be like an amazing movie then. At that point.
It's like you're waiting for the film to make a misstep, and then it just doesn't.
I was waiting because it was like 40 minutes in. I was like, holy crap, this is like really good. I'm like, I was probably gonna throw it down. And then once Daniel Bruhl showed up, I was like, oh, maybe. But then I was like, no, this is actually like way better. I was like, I love this. So I'm like, oh. I was like, it was surprised all the way through. I thought I was gonna like it, but I loved it so much. So.
Yeah, me too. Because again, I didn't know anything about it until like a month ago, and we're used to these like Oscar sort of movies being hyped for months. So, so for it to be this good,
yeah, and it came out of nowhere. Like, I don't know for you guys, but like, I didn't even know it existed until like this week, and I watched it, and I was like, holy shit.
I read the book in freshman year.
Netflix's main contender.
That's what I was thinking, because Blonde, no,
Blonde
Bardo, the reviews are mid.
Go ahead. Sorry, it's probably number 3 right now for me. I think Glass Onion will definitely be their number 1 with that theatrical release. They have very much said that Signal, that's their big one, and I still think potentially Bardo is still number 2, just because even with other reviews, they just can't let it die that easily. They have to at least try it down, because it's like it's Inarritu. He's been an Oscar darling so much.
He's won 5 times or something.
Did he come out already?
Comes out in December, I think.
The re-edit definitely piques my interest with that.
Yeah, because it's.
I can't take it out yet, but I just think Western Front easily has the potential for the highest nomination count out of any of those films if they really push it.
Because I think like sound, that could happen. Cinematography, they've had a thing lately with like wanting to give more international films cinematography awards. And like that's something that happened one year where it's like they nominated like 2 international movies for cinematography, and then I think First Man didn't get in. And I was like, what the hell? So I feel like All Quiet on the Western Front could definitely oh no, it was 3 international films. So All Quiet on the Western Front I think could definitely get in for cinematography. Maybe director, because last couple years they've almost always had a foreign language film nominated for director, so that might be the one. And then international feature, it is Germany's submission. That's confirmed.
Yeah, and apparently in Germany, my roommates are German, and I was talking to them about this movie, and they said that in Germany it is in theaters right now. It's not like I think Netflix only bought like the international rights for it. So in Germany it is playing in the movie theaters right now, and it's apparently one of the biggest ones that they have right now.
So do you think it could win international feature?
Oh, I think it's the front runner right now. Yeah.
Decision to Leave definitely nipping at its heels.
Yes, it definitely helps that Netflix has this movie that can put a lot of weight behind it, and it's available to see. Well, one thing with international feature is usually the one that like people actually see.
Yeah.
Because they're usually not the biggest movie, that'll help. So this definitely is granted helped by that. But Decision to Leave is up there just because it has so much esteem and prestige behind it. So.
Netflix is a blessing and a curse for it, because it means a lot of people will see it, but it also means that they won't see it on the big screen and experience the full immersion. But I have high hopes for it.
I think lately the international films have been a lot more washed, even because before Roma, I like never watched it. That's also on me. But I think like Roma, Parasite, Drive My Car, a lot of people watched those movies. They were even nominated for the big prize, even another round.
And all of them were, I think, maybe except Parasite, but like all of them have been on streaming service. I think Drive My Car was on HBO Max,
but not originally.
And, yeah, it came out with. It wasn't that weird thing that they did the whole year that the movie came out in theaters and in HBO Max at the same time, and it was the same thing like you said with Roma, and now with this one, and I think it's a good play specifically for international. Just because, like you guys said, it does get it in front of as many eyeballs as possible, that it just wouldn't. It's just a situation. Like, even myself, and again, that's on me. Like Al said that was on him as well. Like, I don't watch that many Brazilian movies, even though I am Brazilian. So I'm like, the situation is like people in this circle, people in this quote unquote bubble that we are in, and that the voters are in, and that the people in the industry are in. Like, if you don't give it to them or to us, I guess, in like a silver platter, it's harder for us to go after this kind of content, unfortunately. So I think it does help in that case, and I think it's a shoo-in. I think it's definitely the front runner for that category. And do you guys want to do the scores, and then we'll move on to like general Oscar talk?
Yeah, good.
Perfect. I guess. Let's start with Jacob this time.
Yeah, I mean, repeat everything I just said. I loved the film. I thought it was emotionally powerful, devastating in its action, but it never took glee in its spectacle. It was horrifying, and I loved it. It's in my top 10 of the year. It's a 9 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, for me it's also 9 out of 10. Like we just said so much about this movie, but like, yeah, what we all said, like the cinematography, the acting, the almost a perfect war movie, almost a perfect movie in any sense of the word, and yeah, shoe in for best international feature.
I won't add anything because I don't have anything original to say at this point, but I'll reflect the same score, 9 out of 10.
Well, I'll keep the train rolling. I go also 9 out of 10. It most likely will be my favorite of the year. I'm very happy that it's in Oscar talks, so I'm glad it's in the fight. I was worried that it being as a lower Netflix film, international film, it would have no business anywhere. So I'm glad it's just at least fighting for a spot. It deserves that. It deserves much more, but it's a cruel world out there sometimes.
That's all you can ask from your favorite of the year, because sometimes it'll end up being something that just has no shot.
Mm-hmm. That's like 2020, or like never, rarely, sometimes, always my favorite. I was like, I'm not even gonna try to put the effort in Oscar.
I still haven't seen that movie.
It should have, and other stuff. But I'm like, it's not gonna happen. So I'm just gonna decompress. But
my favorite this year is The Quiet Girl, which its only shot is international. So that I will take that.
Yeah. Or as we last year, French Dispatch. Where I'm like, it really should. Like production design.
I think everyone was baffled by that.
Yeah.
Not even score production design for French Dispatch. That was weird.
I know. That's why I was pissed, because like I had my hopes up, I was ready, and then it got crushed. So I'm not trying to do that for this movie, but I'm like, well, it really should.
All right, so let's dive into our overall Oscars talk. So the state of the Oscars now is a couple major contenders have come out. Almost all of them have screened to an audience, and some of them are less conventional than others. And the point I want to start is, I think, one that I think for sure Hunter will reflect. I don't know about, I think other two will probably agree, is the debate on if Top Gun Maverick is getting into Best Picture. It's like a very beloved blockbuster, made bank, broke records. Everyone loves it, and it's kind of like there's a lot of campaigning around it being practical filmmaking, it being like this pure entertainment cinema. It's a sequel, but it's like everything that people love about genre cinema. So where do you guys stand on that?
Can I start with this one?
Yes.
Okay, I'm 100% for this movie getting in the Best Picture conversation. It was my favorite or second favorite movie of the first semester of this year, and I love that movie so much. Like, it was like, honestly, I think having been disillusioned with a couple of big budget movies lately, this was one that like I came with lower expectations actually. And I came out of it like honestly blew my mind, and like you said, like the practicality of it compared to like everything, like we were just talking about Ant-Man in the beginning of the show, how everything is fake. This is like, it would be like the opposite of that, and like most of it is like 100% real, and like I feel like that's something that's really important right now, especially with the stuff like the volume like growing in popularity. And green screen, of course, being a big thing for like decades at this point. I feel like it is important for the conversation. It's important for the idea that we have like movie stars. I feel like maybe as an old school Hollywood guy, I love the idea that like people go out to see Tom Cruise.
Up until Amsterdam bombed, I thought it was the same for Christian Bale.
And yeah, I adore that film so much. I think it's still in my top 5 of the year, and yeah, I feel like it honestly deserves to be in that conversation.
I am firmly in the camp that it will be nominated for Best Picture for a multitude of reasons. First being it's already like the contending for a win in so many other categories. You got Best Cinematography. It's already pretty much a slam dunk for Best Sound. Maybe Avatar can do something, but I'm very certain it'll be this one. It's
First Avatar didn't even win
editing.
sound.
It's already in for Best Visual Effects. You've already got like 4 nominations. It's gonna maybe win. And at that point, with this Lock 10 system, you're pretty much close to... Like, if Nightmare Alley can get in with 3 other nominations, I'm thinking Top Gun Maverick with its $8,000 billion, huge love. And also, Paramount is screening and promoting the hell out of this movie. I've already gotten 2 emails so far about, like, come to our screenings in LA, so I'm not going. But, like, they're still showing this movie. They're still sending me, consider this movie for awards. For the Minnesota Film Critics Association. What am I going to do? I'm not going to make it get Oscars, but they're still sending me stuff because they want it in there. So they are pushing it really, really, really hard. And they want to get Jerry Bruckheimer's first ever Oscar nomination. He's a campaigner himself.
Wow, he's never won. He's never been nominated?
I didn't know that.
No, maybe... I don't think he counted for Pirates of the Caribbean. No, wait, Pirates wasn't nominated.
It wasn't nominated for picture. Only actor and costume.
Michael Bay movies and Pirates movies do not get nominated for Best Picture.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
I think,
besides wasting his time on giving Michael Bay money, like, I thought he did a lot of good stuff.
It's not like a waste of time, but he was making way different movies than Oscar movies, and now he's made a movie that is an Oscar movie. So they're like, hey, now we have a chance because we were never gonna nominate before. And I still have Maverick in, like, adapted screenplay, like, a 7th, 8th spot because the category is so weak. And I'm like, maybe if people like that movie so they get nominated, why not? And then it's just, like, at that point, you feel like it has to be it.
It's actually currently at number 5 in Variety's predictions. So that's how high it is, like, for Best Picture.
I have, like, the 6th slot. No, 7th slot.
I'm looking at yours, Hunter, now. You have it at 6
firmly
today.
In that camp, like, it'll be there, but it won't win, but it'll be there.
Yeah.
The thing is...
Because I'm really, like, I'd put my life on it getting a Best Picture nomination at this point. I don't even think it's occupying that blockbuster spot anymore. I just think it's one of the movies that's in, and I do think there's still room for...
Sort of like Dune last year, you mean?
But I don't love the film as much as everyone else does. I think it's great, and I think it's just a great blockbuster. I wouldn't personally nominate it, but I also think it's a really good movie, and I'm pretty happy for it to be getting in there. And I wouldn't even rule out a Tom Cruise Best Actor nomination. It's unlikely, but I'm not ruling it out because that could be another way to reward his authorial stamp on the film in lieu of, like, a director nomination, because, like, that's not happening. So I don't know. I think it's a strong contender.
Yeah, that is an interesting, like, dark horse pick for like an outside shot for a nomination there for Tom Cruise. And I think like sometimes the Oscars do that to, like, award, like, a body of work instead of awarding the actual movie. So that can actually happen. Again,
the field this year is pretty weak at the moment.
What'd you say?
Like, the actor field is weak.
Besides the top 3.
Yeah. Do you want to start with talking about actor then?
If you guys want to, yeah.
All right, let's do it. So
I'm willing to bet that we all have the same top 3.
It's pretty much, yeah.
Okay, my top 3 is Brendan Fraser in The Whale, Hugh Jackman in The Sun, Colin Farrell in The Banshees of Inisherin, Austin Butler in Elvis. And then Hunter brought to my attention in one of his posts, Bill Nye in Living. And I think
keeping that train going.
Yeah, and I think that's a good bet for, like, a career nomination. I haven't seen the movie. I'm sure he's great in it. But, like, older actors... No, he's amazing. But what I'm saying is sometimes older actors get that extra push.
No, I'm just saying I love Bill Nye.
Yeah, he's great. He's great.
It's mostly based on the reason Jake and I probably explained it. Hugh Jackman in The Sun, where nobody... I mean, there probably is a lot of people, but, like, the buzz on that movie is so not good right now. It just keeps dipping, and, like, another bad thing. But when it comes out again, people will like it more. But
it's weird because I thought it was a great movie.
Austin Butler, like, lock him in right there. Bet your life savings on him, might as well. Bill Nye, I helped because it would be a career nomination, and it is by Sony Pictures Classics. Is released. Father.
Yeah, they got
Parallel Mothers, where both of those were like oh, is the father really going to get nominated for that much stuff? 6 nominations, 2 wins, huge success. Parallel Mothers, is that actually going to get nominated? Boom, Penelope Cruz gets in, sneaks in. So I'm like, they know what they're doing.
Score too, didn't it?
Yeah, they know what Sony Pictures know how to do that little sneak campaign where like you don't think they're in, and then just whoop, there's Bill Nye, he's nominated. He won't win, but he'll be
Nye 4th, so I'm pretty confident.
What I'll say,
looking forward to that film.
What I'll say is the reason
the whole time because he kind of is the only person that escaped from that movie unscathed by criticism.
Which one?
You also kind of got to think the movie's probably not going to get a single other nomination. Is his performance strong enough to be that lone actor nomination?
Oh, I would say yes.
I actually have him outside my 5 right now. Ooh.
I think he's... Look, I first of all thought The Sun was a really good movie. I understand some of the criticisms.
I haven't seen it, so...
But I thought Hugh Jackman was honestly spectacular in it. It might be the best thing he's ever done. Up there with Prisoners, at least. Like, maybe right after Prisoners. So I think he's good enough, even if people don't like the movie, for him to get people's attention. But I get... Yeah, when a movie has that much on it, it's hard.
It also helps that it is a weak year for Best Actor right now, so I still have him in. Sight unseen Diego Calva in Babylon. I'm like, well, he could easily take it. People love it.
He's who I have in at the moment.
Yeah. And I would, once people actually talk about the movie, I would easily put him in. And then, like, number 7 right now for me is, like, Jeremy Pope in the Inspection. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe there's not much else. It's like, is Tom Cruise going to do it? Is Song Kang-ho going to do it? I'm like...
I'd be down for Jeremy Pope, honestly. I saw that movie, too.
But I don't know.
Beyond those 8, it is a pretty steep drop-off, I think.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm like, Jackman's way bigger than Pope in terms of just stature. It's like Tom Cruise. I'm like, I don't know, maybe. And then like Song Kang-ho has done nothing. So like, I guess if Jackman's still in, then once Diego Calva and Babylon's seen, then we really pretty much know.
What about director? Where do you guys stand on
How to
that?
get actors nominated. Yeah. So I do have a bit of faith there. But also, he's a bit of an unknown. Maybe they don't go for it. Yeah. It's going to be an interesting category to see who fills those sort of 4 and 5 spots. I'm very confident in that top 3 you mentioned.
Where do you guys stand on director?
I've seen 2 of the films, and I would even Elvis. I hate that movie. I would still nominate Austin Butler. He's fantastic.
He's
so good in that movie.
I would nominate him, but I would even say that Colin Farrell was better in the Banshees of Inisherin.
Oh yeah. So
does anyone have any other dark horses they like in that category?
I don't think so. I think that one is like you guys said. It's like pretty straightforward this year. Like there's not much.
I would absolutely love it, but I have no hope for it. Paul Mescal and After Sun. I would die
he's
for it.
He's my number 1 personal favorite.
He is.
I haven't seen that one yet.
Lineup. I would hope that like other critics groups are going to push it. I'm texting my friends and like in our Minnesota group and the international group. It's like, hey, we got to vote for this guy because no one else is. We have to do it. But I know the Oscars.
I need you to get out there and push that, Hunter. I completely agree.
It's me. All Quiet on the Western Front and After Sun are my 2 like get on my box. Like, okay, this is what I'm going to tell you to vote for.
What do you guys think about director right now?
In a few categories at like 18th, just out of hope.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's one of those where like A24 has too many movies. I'm like, yeah.
Even if they get the push it needs. Even if it's not super accessible.
No. Even if they pushed it, like, I was like, it still wouldn't work, even if they tried. I'm like, it is what it is. It's the never really sometimes always where I'm like, it's not happening, and I'm okay with that. It's just not that movie.
Who do you guys have for the 5 for director?
You guys to not, I guess, keep an eye on the 2 Koreans, Park Hae-il in Decision to Leave and Song Kang-ho in Broker. There's a lot of those performances. And if Decision to Leave does emerge as that international frontrunner, I'm sure he'll rise up in people's predictions. And he's really great in the film.
Yeah, it's great.
But I have doubts because, like, Parasite Crew didn't get nominated. Main actor from, I forget his name, I'm very sorry, but the main actor from Drive My Car didn't get nominated. Only, like, Yalitza Aparicio for Roma. Penelope Cruz, I guess, but she's more of a star. Like, Song Kang-ho people love, but I don't know.
I think it's harder for movies, especially, like... for actors in international flicks, especially if it's not like English or Spanish, maybe to get in like the acting categories. I don't know exactly why, but like historically, I feel like it's way harder for like Asian countries or something like that to get into it.
It's too hard to ask the Academy boomers to remember Asian films.
Who are your 5 for director right now?
Sorry?
Who's your 5 for director?
Ooh, okay.
Right now, Spielberg, Chazelle, Todd Field, Sarah Polley for one time, and Martin McDonough. There's 5.
Okay.
No, Daniels, how dare you?
At number 6, Daniel.
Oh, so I'm almost the same. I'm Damien Chazelle, Babylon, Steven Spielberg, The Fablemans, Sarah Polley, Women Talking, Martin McDonough, The Banshees of Inisherin, after he shockingly got snubbed for 3 billboards for directing, and then Daniels. But I honestly think I would not rule out Gina Prince Bythewood, just because there's so much good technicality.
She's in mine. She's my number 5, actually. Like, I think there's a real good chance she's gonna make it. It might be my bias because I love that movie, but
What's your 5, Alan?
like I said, Gina Prince Bythewood is my number 5. My number 4 is the Daniels. My number 3 is Steven Spielberg. Number 2 is my good man. Oh Jesus Christ!
Not good enough, I guess.
No, he's one of my favorite directors. I'm blanking on his name. It always happens in the show.
Damien Chazelle?
Damien Chazelle, thank you. Damien Chazelle and who's my number 1? I'm trying to look.
Spielberg?
He just said Spielberg.
McDonough.
Because Martin McDonough's never won for a feature film. He's won for a short film.
Exactly.
But
So I think he has a real good shot of winning this year.
ooh.
I do have McDonough still at number 5 because he missed for 3 billboards. It's like such a best picture front runner that he missed for. I'm like, there might be some directorial resentment there.
Yeah.
But with this movie, he has elevated his game, and people are like commenting like his direction has gone up. That's why I still have him at the moment. So, and
I have him 6, but it's a very close 6.
yeah, him and Daniels are like right here for me. I'm like, Daniels are much more of a direct-to a movie and achievement, but Mark McDonough's the bigger name and the bigger movie to an extent. The more Oscar-friendly movies, so like they're right there. So I don't know. And Todd Field is dipping a little bit because Tar's wavering a bit.
I watched Tar for a second time just before this, and I actually loved it this time.
I need to watch it because it looks amazing.
Had some issues, but I really liked it a lot this time. I still don't know if I fully buy Todd Field as a director nominee, but at the moment I still have him at 5th because it's one of the critics' favorite films of the year, and the director branch do tend to be a bit more pretentious and highbrow. So if the international guys can't get in, I think Todd Field might sort of be their artsy pick.
Yeah. Wild card is James Cameron for Avatar, just because like you could easily see James Cameron making it, obviously, and then
What about James Gray?
maybe depending on how.
I have a very, very, very wild card that I don't think will happen in a million years, but there's like the 1% chance.
Michael Bay for Ambulance.
Oh, of course. No.
No way.
Oh God. Oh no. Yeah.
Go ahead with yours.
Who is it?
I don't know if you guys will agree with this one, but Ryan Coogler for Black Panther 2. I feel like depending on the reception of the movie and how well it does and how much Disney pushes it in the Oscar race, I feel like there's a real chance that like he might, if that movie is as emotional as it seems that it can be, I think there's a chance he could snag that 5th spot. I don't know. It's a very unlikely scenario, but
The movie would have to probably perform better than the first one.
Exactly, because he didn't get first movie director.
He's like him and Cameron definitely. If either of those movies hit really big, they could take that 5th spot.
Because Coogler's actually only ever been nominated himself.
Because they've put one in the last few years. I don't think the contenders are as strong as they have been, but Park Chan-wook is very beloved, and if All Quiet does become a big contender, then Edward Berger is going to.
I think Edward Berger could honestly
he
get
could
in.
also get that 5th spot. Yeah.
Do we want to say our 10 for Best Picture and then wrap up?
Sure.
So the 10 I have. Should I go first? You go first.
Yeah, go first.
Oh, okay, sure. So the 10 I have now that I put on Gold Derby, which is where I list my predictions: Babylon, The Fablemans, Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Banshees of Inisherin, Women Talking, Armageddon Time, which those last two I have not seen yet, or Babylon, but whatever. Till, also haven't seen. The Woman King, Top Gun Maverick, and Tar, which again I have not seen. But
I'll tell you, Armageddon Time.
Nah, sorry.
It's not happening.
I mean, it seems like a more accessible movie. That's why I'm putting it, because it's like I don't know. I haven't seen it, but I feel like they'd be warmer towards it because they know those kind of movies.
Is there room for 2 directors recreating their childhood movies in the Best Picture 10?
Now with Sam Mendes also there as well. Go with mine. Okay, let's see. Number 10, I have Glass Onion. Number 9, I have She Said / The Whale. Maybe I've seen She Said. It's a good movie, but I have to wait and see what the box office is. If people actually want to embrace this movie.
I would have had it winning, but then like the reviews were eh.
Yeah, they're good but not great, and that's the problem. Where it's like it's not great enough reviews to plant it in there, and then you also have potential backlash of people just not wanting to watch it. Number 8, I have Tar. 7 is Top Gun. 6 is The Banshees of Inisherin. 6 is Top Gun. 5 is Everything Everywhere at Once. 4 is Babylon. 3 is Banshees. 2 is Women Talking, and number 1 is The Fablemans.
Okay.
I'll count up from 1, but I have a top 7 that I'm really confident in, and then the rest, it's like, I don't know. 1, The Fablemans. 2, Everything Everywhere All at Once, of course. 3, Women Talking. I think people are sleeping on that one a little bit. I haven't seen it yet, but
Me neither.
I think it's going to be a no-brainer. 4, The Banshees of Inisherin. 5, Babylon. Not because I've gone cold on it, just because it's an unknown, and those 4 movies above it are locks. I'm a Chazelle super fan, so I'm going to be rooting for it.
Me too.
6, Top Gun Maverick. 7, Tar. And then 8, I'm somewhat confident on The Whale, because I think...
I've seen it, and I just don't feel it's mainstream enough.
Because I know the movie doesn't have the most glowing reviews, but there's a lot of passion for it. No, and I have She Said. I let everyone talk me out of it, but now that people have seen it, I'm like, nah, it's in. It's like bootleg Spotlight, and that'll be good enough.
I feel wrong for cutting it out now. I think I should put She Said back in. But having seen The Whale, I love it. I loved it honestly more than some. But I just think the style is a little too like
Darren Aronofsky.
Exactly. Like
Either, so
yeah.
But I know there's just a lot of passion for it, and passion is big when it comes to the preferential ballot. And then, for a bit of a meme, I have Elvis.
Nice.
Please no.
Nice. I'll go.
I do not trust people's taste, so I will not be surprised if it gets in. I'll be angry.
Nice. Yeah, I agree with you. That might happen. I'll go from 10 to 1. So 10, I put Glass Onion in, but I'm between Glass Onion, All Quiet in the Western Front, and The Whale, but I put Glass Onion in for the time. 9, She Said. 8, Babylon. 7th, Woman Talking. 6, Tar. 5, Top Gun Maverick. 4, Banshees of Inisherin. It's so hard for me to say that. 3, Everything Everywhere All at Once. 2, The Woman King, and 1, The Fablemans.
Ooh.
So that's my.
Woman King. Big.
I'm going big on the Woman King this year.
I hope the Academy replicates Alan's energy.
For the 10th spot.
Sorry, Jacob, you said something.
Oh, I just said the Woman King's definitely a chance.
All right, so Jacob first, and then Hunter. Do you want to shout out your social media tags?
Yeah, you can find me on YouTube just under my name, Jacob Cunningham, but most importantly, follow me on Instagram at Jacob Watches Films. That's where I post written reviews and other stuff. I just talk about movies a lot. I love them.
You can find me at my website, cinemadispatch.com, and on Instagram and Twitter at the Cinema Dispatch. Just threw out some Oscar predictions, so it's right in time for this. I timed it perfectly.
Amazing. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
It was so much fun.
And thank you for watching, for listening to it, and we'll see you guys next time. Remember to follow us as well at Film Fanatics Pod in like everything, I guess. And remember to subscribe to the channel as well. Bye guys. Thank you.
Bye.
Film Fanatics. From the silver screen to your earphones with Alan Azulay and Gal Balaban.